Oh, Land of Women, that sounds absolutely right up our street. We can welcome Eva Longoria now. That looks absolutely fabulous, Eva. I mean, Land of Women, but are they loose women?
Yes, it's a really fun show. I think if you liked Desperate Housewives, you're gonna love Land of Women because it's in the same tone. It's a very different character, but it's in the very same tone of a dramedy. It's like a drama, but with a bunch of comedy. It was really fun.
And is it true that one of your main sort of incentives for doing this was that you wanted to live in Spain and particularly in wine country?
I wanted to drink in Spain. Yeah.
You're living in Spain permanently now. You're married to a Mexican guy, a director, Jose. And so you're spending most of the time there.
A producer.
A producer. And what amazed me, Eva, when I was reading about you is that Spanish is actually your third language.
Because I'm Mexican-American, so I grew up in America. I grew up in the United States, and I was really tied to my culture, but we just didn't speak Spanish at home. And then I married a Frenchman, and I learned French, and then I married a Mexican, and now I learned Spanish. Like, I think the next will be Italian. No, I'm just kidding.
I just wondered what it was like to play that role in Spanish. Did you have to really alter the way that you sort of, you know, addressed the part?
Yeah. Yes, it was so hard. You know, I haven't been on TV in over a decade, like in 10 years. And I was like, if I go back to TV, I want it to be something different and something special. And so I just got it in my head. I wanted to shoot in Spain and I wanted to act in Spanish for the first time. But acting in Spanish and doing comedy, like in a different language, is totally different rhythm. And then my mother is played by the legendary Carmen Maura. So like acting opposite of her in Spanish, doing comedy, it was a lot, yeah.
And it's very important to you, Eva, as well, isn't it, that we should be building representation from the Latino community.
Yeah, and female representation.
And female.
You know, you don't get a lot of series like this about women. Like, we are the main characters, instead of being the wife of the main character or the girlfriend of the main character. Like, we are the main characters in this show. And so I think to have storytelling through the point of view of a woman and her story and what she's going through is so different than what you see the majority of television looking like. And then, of course, Latino representation. And to tell stories that aren't always about our identity. Like, it's so hard to be me. Like, no, we fall in love, we have jobs, we raise our children. Like, there's life that happens that we can tell stories about. It doesn't always have to be about navigating identity.
You were saying this is your first time on television for 10 years, and of course we have... Well, do we have to go back to Desperate Housewives? I mean, it was such an iconic series. I mean, do you remember it fondly, or would you rather leave it in the past?
Yes. Oh, my God, no. Are you kidding? Everybody asks me 100 times a day if we're going to do a reboot, because, you know, everybody's doing reboots. And I'm like, I'd be the first one to sign up. Like, I'd be on Wisteria Lane right now just waiting for the crew, because I loved my time on that show. I love all the women. I miss Gabby. I miss being in her skin.
I love that, you know, because you talk to a lot of actors and actresses in this world who kind of resent the fact that every day they're asked about something they did so long ago. But I think that it's so wonderful that you embrace the success of that and the character. And those fabulous, I mean, that was a land of brilliant women as well, wasn't it, Desperate Housewives? Are you still, are you still friendly with them, Eva?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was just talking to my husband on the show, Ricardo Chavira, who played Carlos. I was just talking to him today because we were both in Spain, and I talked to a lot of the girls a lot of the time, and you know, they were such a big part of my life and a big part of my formative acting years. I mean, I was like the newbie on that show, and they were the veterans, and they were like, been there, done that. They had so much success before Desperate Housewives, and so for me, I will always be so grateful to those women who just took me under their wing and showed me the way. Here's the light, go this way. But no, I'm really close to them, yeah.
You had some pretty racy scenes in Desperate Housewives, and the film industry has changed quite a bit. Now, I think an intimacy coordinator might be on set. Did you have that back then?
Yeah. No, what? No, we did not have that. And It's so funny because I don't know. My naivete was a good thing back then because I was like, okay, but we were on network television, which is very different than streaming or cable. So we weren't that risque, even though people like look back at the show and go, ooh, Gabby. It was still very PG because we were on broadcast television. So we really couldn't do a lot of, go too far. So it was pretty PG. I am so happy that there are intimacy coordinators now, but I had two of the best men to act off of when I was on Desperate Housewives, which was Ricardo Chavira, who played my husband, and Jesse Metcalf, who played the gardener.
Yeah, that
and
must have been
we were
hard.
so close. We were, so hard. It was so hard to play opposite of these gorgeous men.
Can you tell us a little bit about the story around Land of Women, which is on Apple TV, and about your Apple TV Plus?
Yes. Yeah, it's, Land of Women is about 3 generations of women, my mother, myself, and my daughter, and we have to flee New York because of some horrible thing my husband did. And my mom says, I have a home in my little town from Spain that I grew up in. Let's hide there. And we go there, and it's not fun.
We, on this Land of Women, would love to know when you're going to come back and join us, because we, of course, celebrate 25 years of this show of Loose Women.
Really? 25?
And I know that you've already, I'm sure, got your mug from when you were on, so we'd love for you to do a return visit, Eva.
I would love to come back. It's been 20 years since Desperate Housewives, so we must have premiered at similar moments.
Absolutely. And Desperate Housewives
and look how young we look. We still look so good.
Desperate Housewives sparked so many conversations on this show back then, and it sounds as if Land of Women is going to do exactly the same thing. So thank you for providing us with lots of material. That's wonderful. Eva, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Eva Longoria.